What is going on, Shake Squad? Your boy Joey 672 coming to you guys with a video right now. So another day of training camp. No helmets, no pads, and we have one on the injury list, guys, but I don't want to freak anybody out right now. You have Miles Sanders, of all people, on the injury list, but it's nothing crazy. Everyone should just calm down. It's a little bit of an injury. It's nothing crazy. He's gonna be day to day. It's just gonna be a monitor type thing. But he was fine. He was walking around. He was fine. There's nothing wrong. Because the rumor is he's taking the bulk of the carries, and we're just going to see what happens at the beat time. So I don't want anyone to really worry about Miles Sanders too much. Now I want to go on to Jalen Reagor, okay? Jalen Reagor, okay? I say his name wrong all the time. Just give me a break. Jalen Reagor mostly took all of the punt return duties today, okay? I have a feeling that Jalen Reagor is going to be the starting punt returner for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it's going to happen, guys, because I just seen way too many reps from him. I think it was all day. They were doing a live stream today. The Eagles were doing a live stream, and we were just watching Jalen Reagor literally take punt return snaps all day for at least 24 minutes to a half hour. I mean, pretty much, probably did more than that, who knows, but for at least a half hour, he was doing punt return drills. I know they've had Marcus Green and Adrian Killens. I mean, Corey Clement, might be doing them, but Jalen Reagor might be the guy that's going to take the punt returns. Probably going to happen. There's no doubt in my mind. Other than that, they've lined up Jalen Reagor today all over XYZ receiver spot. They're not using him in one spot, guys. They're not just going to – I don't think he's going to be a wide receiver that's going to be used for, like, screens or – obviously he'll be into that. But I think, I really hope they don't just do that, use him just for screens and reverses or whatever, stuff like that. I want him to be on this field and be literally plug him in wherever you need to plug him in. He can play any, if he plays every position on, X, Y, and Z receiver spots, you really could just do whatever you want with this offense, because if some guys can't play on both sides, even though every receiver should be able to play on both sides or any position on the offense, receiver-wise, Jalen Reagor has a huge chance to become a very, very good player this year. I think he's going to be a very one of the top players in the league, one of the top receivers in the league. Obviously, the Eagles are going to be throwing the ball to a lot of guys this year, but love Jalen Reagor for what he does, and I like what they're doing with him. I just don't want to use him as situational times to put him in the game. I want him in 100% full starter and in every single game, opposite of Deshaun Jackson, and then seeing who's playing in the slot. We'll figure that out pretty much. So, we pretty much had Jalen Reagor make a catch middle of the end zone. I think it was by Jalen Hurts today. Everyone was noticing how he plays big. 42-inch vertical jump at the combine. You could see it when he goes catch a football. He could jump over everybody. And that's pretty much it with Jalen Reagor. I'm very happy what's going on with him as of right now. More pads on tomorrow, so we'll see what he does tomorrow, where they put him. Now, Corey Clement has took a bulk of the snaps, okay? He's took a bulk of the snaps today with Miles Sanders being gone. Really, Adrian Killens didn't really have any snaps. He's working with the receivers. Elijah Holyfield may have had a couple. Michael Warren has had a couple. But Corey Clement looks pretty healthy out there. If he can stay healthy, I'll be happy with that. I like Corey Clement. I've always liked him. He's been hurt since 2018, and he hasn't been the same. Obviously, he hasn't touched the field to even do anything at this point. So Corey Clement, it seems like all the running backs like him in the building. Just a really nice locker room guy to have around. And I don't know. I figured maybe he wouldn't make this team, but he's looking pretty good out there. Obviously, it's just there's no preseason, and there's a lot more going on. So I'm really liking this whole running back room as of right now. So really can't complain about that at the moment. Okay, so we have pretty much to our cornerbacks right now. To our cornerbacks, I think you have really good players in Avonte Max coming on the field, starting opposite of Darius Slay. Another day of opposite of Darius Slay as a second cornerback. I think we've all kind of known this. With Roby Coleman and Cravon alternating as the third team on the outside corner position. So Roby Coleman and Cravon are actually lining up on the outside with other teams. So like Jim Schwartz said, he's going to put all these corners inside, outside. They have to learn, because if Darius Slay, just say Darius Slay has to play the nickel spot in the slot, they have to put these other corners on the outside. These guys have to play multiple positions. I know Avante could do it. I know Roby could do it. Cravon has done it, but hasn't done it as much. So it's probably going to be a little bit of work with those guys and see, what they could do and just see what they could handle. Okay, so and another guy that made some plays today is one of my favorites as of right now in camp, has been really tearing it up, is Sean Bradley, okay, from Temple. Has been putting on a clinic every single day of camp so far with pads on, always in the right spot at the right time. I think he got a red zone interception off Jalen Hurts today. Did a pretty good job. He's always doing something. So if he's progressing every single day, and obviously right now, Davion Taylor, our third-round pick, nothing's really happened. No, I haven't heard a damn thing from Davion Taylor. Nothing at all. And I'm getting kind of worried, but it's very early. I'm not going to go crazy about it. So you don't want to go crazy over players like that. I think the linebacker core is very young right now. It's a lot of speed. Jim Schwartz said there's a lot of speed there. So we got to figure out what's going on with some of these players. Now, I want to go over two press conferences that did happen today. I want to go over Deuce Daily's press conference today. A lot of good feedback from this running back room. Has talked about Miles Sanders really understanding the game better this year, playing faster. It's not, Deuce had, he doesn't have to learn more really. I think it's mostly just understanding the game and just, getting some reps, and that's really it. But he thinks he's ready to go. Could take a bulk of the carries, okay? Deuce Daily talked about Darren Sproles as well, helping the running back room. He's an assistant coach of some kind, pretty much an assistant coach now, and working with this punt return unit as well. So coaching up Jalen Reagor as well there. So I'm really glad that Darren Sproles is a part of this Eagles family on the coaching staff, as well as Connor Barwin. He's taking time away from his family. He cares about the development of his players, and he cares about this team a lot. So I give Darren Sproles a lot of credit. Not really looking for a contract anywhere else right now. Even if he did, I really wouldn't care. But just being here and helping these guys out to win another championship, and I'm happy for that. So, Deuce Daily thinks that Miles Sanders could pretty much do it all. Okay, you can line him up as receiver. He explained lining him up as a receiver with mismatches against safeties and linebackers. Huge mismatch with him. So I'm telling you right now, bulk of the carries is going to Miles Sanders regardless of what happens. So I'm really excited to see that. Now, Deuce Daily talked about Elijah Holyfield, a guy that they picked up at the end of the year last year. He's Evander Holyfield, the big-time boxer. His son, Elijah, says that he's smart. He plays really fast. He doesn't really go by 40 times, but he says he works harder than his 40 time. His gameplay speed is faster than what he did at the combine. I don't know, because some guys just don't have good combines and become great players. But in my own opinion about Elijah Holyfield, he hasn't really had any time. He did not hit the NFL field last year at all. He was mostly on practice squad. He was probably on the active roster, but didn't get any playing time for maybe a few games. But he talked about Elijah Holyfield in a good way. I mean, I don't think Elijah Holyfield is going to make this team, but you never know. I'm looking for one of these bruisers, and at least Michael Warren, Elijah Holyfield, somebody could step up. Obviously, Michael Warren, the undrafted from Cincinnati, he's another guy that's more of a shifty bruiser. Probably the best feet in this running back room, and Deuce actually mentioned that a few weeks ago that Michael Warren has like the best feet for a big guy. So it's going to be really exciting to see what goes on in this running back room. Obviously, I don't know, Adrian Killen's going to come back to running back. I mean, they're going to, he went up to 168 pounds. So I don't know, they're going to try him at receiver, see what happens. They might put him back. Obviously special teams is a big thing for Adrian Killens as well. So we're going to go straight down to the new coach, the new addition to the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, Mark Manuel is the new defensive back coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. I actually like this guy a lot. This is the first time we actually heard him talk today. I liked all the info that he did give us. He talked about Vontae Maddox and his size, and just saying that he has a big advantage to start this year because he does play the outside and inside. If you guys remember when we did draft him and we had an injury in Rodney McLeod at safety, we actually put him at safety for a couple games, and it worked out pretty good, and he's got a lot of value to him. The more, the more positions you can play, the more value you're going to have. Okay, so should be really cool. So Mark Emanuel really talks about he had a year off last year. He wanted to evaluate himself. He got some interviews, and the Eagles finally called him. He loves football, and he always wants to grow as a coach and cares about his players very much. Then he went to go talk about Sidney Jones. Okay, he gave Sidney Jones 3 things he needs to do better, okay, and work hard, okay? He gave him 3 things to do. He gave Sidney Jones accountability, competing, and willing to learn, which are the 3 things he told him to do. I don't know. That's what he said. Confidence goes a long way in this league, and if he thinks he knows he has something in Sidney Jones right now that needs to come out finally, because as of right now, guys, this is the last year of Sidney Jones. He doesn't pull through or do anything. I don't see him really hitting the field at all. I really don't. And I feel bad because wouldn't he have been a top 10 corner if he didn't have that torn Achilles on his pro day, on the last play of his pro day? Would he be a different player as of right now? Don't really know. So Mark Emanuel talks about the secondary, talks about Darius Slay. And one of the beat writers asked, is he good as Darius Slay good as advertised? Okay. And what Mark Emanuel mentioned about Darius Slay is he's already one of the best corners in the league. He's actually urging to get more knowledge. He always wants to get better and become a better corner. And the guy competes harder and harder each day. And you know what? Darius Slay is not one of those corners that's just taking it for granted. Oh, I'm the best and that's it. He's always picking at people's brains. He always wants to get better, even though he's already good. I mean, that's really good. And that's real humbling as to himself as a player in the league that, it only takes him not to care and then play horrible like a lot of corners do. The money doesn't get to his head. Nothing gets to his head. He wants to get better, and he's a part of this culture, and I'm very happy. Darius Slay is fitting in very nicely with this defense and just with this locker room in general, okay? So Mark Emanuel goes on to talk about Jalen Mills, okay? That obviously, I think we all know this, that, Jalen Mills has a foot up on everybody because, number one, he played safety in college at LSU. Jalen Mills doesn't have to learn a new defense. Doesn't have to learn a new defense whatsoever. He's got transitioning in his eyes. It's not a foreign language playing safety because Jalen Mills, that's where his roots come from, that position. He's played corner beginning of his LSU career and then went to safety once they drafted a guy, or once they got a guy in LSU that played safety. He played horrible. Jalen Mills moved from corner to safety, and that's pretty much how it ended right there. Mark Emanuel says that he's got the leadership, he's the ultimate competitor. He's a natural born leader. And you know what? Couldn't be happier about his skill set, what he could do. Could play multiple positions. Very valuable. Obviously, we want him to stay away from corner. His call-outs are going to be different being at safety. There were times during the season where they didn't move him to safety, but they put him in a position where he was pretty much acting like a safety, but he wasn't. So there's a lot to do with Jalen Mills. I'm looking for new number, new year, just a new era for Jalen Mills. Obviously, with Malcolm Jenkins not being here as of right now, so should be fantastic. Now, last person that Mark Emanuel talked about before the press conference was over was Rasul Douglas. Okay, he knows Rasul Douglas works very hard. He needs to work, just what techniques he's got to be using during games. And says that, balls are going to get caught on you as a cornerback. There's nothing you could do about it. You're not going to win them all the time. And I think, for Rasul Douglas, we don't hate him as a player, but there's only so much he could do. Some of us thought that maybe he should move to safety. But at this point, I think we're good with Rasul Douglas and just being a backup corner for us until he's gone. I mean, this is going to be, he got signed for a 1-year deal this year, and he was on the trading block. We didn't get rid of him. And, Rasul we can't get away with doing this anymore. I don't know how he did. I mean, he played great in the red zone. There were times where, I have to say that this corner room with Jalen Mills and Rasul Douglas, they gave up a lot of yards for us cornerback-wise. But you know what? They came back and punch a team right in the mouth. They come back and make a play. They don't put their heads down. They didn't give up during games. They kept going, man. They just kept going. And both of these players have been through a lot. And Rasul Douglas, he was I think when we drafted him from West Virginia, he was the leading corner in the whole country with 10 picks. But, unfortunately, he just doesn't have the speed to follow receivers downfield. He can't face the best receivers. We all know that. So as of right now, we just need to just get him ready in case he does need to go in. Be a situational corner like Sidney Jones did last year with this team, where he came in for a few plays at the end of the year, made some plays, made him look good, and people started saying, oh, he could start. But look, guys, a few plays doesn't make you a starting quarterback, okay? It's a cornerback. It just doesn't happen that way. There's a lot more to it. But Mark Emanuel, I like him. I like his energy. I like how much he cares. I feel like he's going to be a very good defensive back coach for us. And he's got a lot of weapons to really toy with this year and get to know some of these guys. So I'm very excited for that. And, that's pretty much it, guys. That was pretty much, another day of training camp. Obviously, no pads, no helmet. The Miles Sanders injury is nothing. And we're going to see some other running backs get some reps. But very happy with Mark Emanuel. I really like that press conference a lot. And I like hearing from Deuce with these running backs, what he's thinking about everything. And other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Got a lot more training camp videos on the way. If you guys haven't tuned in, please tune in, and we're going to have a good time with this. Can't wait for the coming weeks. Football is only 20-something days away. It's going to come really fast, guys. The Washington football team is right around the corner, and we need to get these guys prepared. We need to get prepared for Washington, and at the same time develop these guys. And I don't know how they're going to do it with no preseason games, but they're going to find a way. They're going to have some scrimmages soon and see what happens. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Sorry about the late upload because I had a lot of editing to do for this video. I put out a post earlier today. It just took me a little bit of time, so this will be obviously a late night one. Probably going to put this as a premiere. So do appreciate everybody being here today, and thank you very much for everybody being here. So other than that, guys, I will see you guys later. Shake Squad up. Fly, fly. Peace. Peace out.